I was speaking about selling for a profit being a biblical principle. And I love to teach people how to sell without coming across salesy. Like that's what some people book me for when I get booked to speak at events. Sometimes I'm speaking about finance. Sometimes I'm speaking about business principles, and sometimes I'm booked to actually do a training or I'll say a training or a workshop on sales, because I actually have been good in sales for a long time. Like before I even knew that I needed to have a sales framework, I was selling. Like I was selling as one of the top salespeople for Men's Warehouse. I was a college student. I was kicking butt within the region. I was selling with the insurance company that I used to work with. I got all types of awards and trophies and rings and all of that. I've been good at sales. And for those of you who don't like sales or you feel uncomfortable with sales, I hope after you watch this video, even if you're watching the replay, I hope that you feel better about making sales in 2025, because selling for a profit is a biblical principle. So I am going to use a story to help show you that selling for a profit is decent and in order. You don't have to feel like you're doing a disservice. You don't have to feel like it's ungodly, right? It's not Christian like for you to be focused on sales. Okay. So I am going to use a story from 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. Now, this is the new life version. Okay, new living translation. Okay, and I'm using different translations because I want to make sure that there is no question about what I'm reading in terms of what does it mean. I want to make sure that the information is so easy that even if your 7-year-old is walking by and they hear my voice because you watch my lives or you're watching the replay, they can understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to tell you this story. This story is about a guy named Elisha. Okay, Elisha was a prophet in this chapter of the Bible, which is 2 Kings. And so I'm just going to read it the way it is on my screen, and then we're going to break it down so you can see that selling for a profit where you make more money than what you spent is a biblical principle. Like it's decent and in order. Okay, so I'm going to read. It says, now the wife of the son of one of the men who tell what will happen in the future cried out to Elisha, your servant, my husband, is dead. You know that your servant honored the Lord with fear, but the man to whom he owed money has come to take my children to make them serve him. Y'all, that's a lot to unpack in the first verse. So I'm going to unpack the first verse just a little bit to make sure y'all didn't miss anything. And then I'm going to read the whole story. So there's a woman who is a widow, and her dead husband owes a man some money, and she don't have the money to pay this man. And this man is trying to come take her children. All of that's in the first verse. Okay. So she goes to Elisha, and Elisha says to her, what can I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in your house? That's what he says. Okay, that's what he asked her. What can I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? And the woman said, your woman servant has nothing in the house except a jar of oil. Then he said, go around and get the jars from all of your neighbors. Get empty jars, many of them. Then go in and shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour the oil into all these jars and set aside each one that is full. So she went from him, and she shut the door behind her and her sons. And they took the jars to her, and she poured. When the jars were full, she said to her son, Bring me another jar. And he said to her, there is not one jar left. Then the oil stopped flowing. She came and told the man of God, and he said, go and sell the oil and pay what you owe, and you and your sons can live on the rest.